Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode on V-Test Drive. Today is a head-to-head episode. I'm doing a comparison of two iconic 2000s German cars. It's not the same car even though it looks absolutely identical. One is in SL500 and another one is in SL55 AMG. And what if I told you, for the price of a brand new Mercedes A-Class, you could actually buy both of these cars together? So this is going to be a real-world scenario comparison where I'm going to drive each vehicle back to back, give you my impressions. Fun fact, this is my car and this is my brother's car. I've been able to drive both of them quite consecutively, quite often. So I can really give you a good personalized opinion on what I feel each car does best versus what it does not so well. All right, so I do want to start off with the SL500 AMG package. We're going to go a little bit on the outside, the exterior look, to really show you the little subtle hints that give it away between a 55 AMG and a 500 AMG pack. And I'm telling you right now, there's not that many. The first most obvious one is that the 500 doesn't have the V8 compressor badge. That's like the dead giveaway right off the bat. Second thing you really notice is the brakes. The SL55 AMG has 8-piston brakes, while the AMG pack has a 4-piston brake. Another thing that you'll notice is the side mirrors are different between the 500 and the 55. I'll show you in a little bit. Not much to see in the back. SL500, no AMG badge, even though it is an AMG pack. Oval pipes, 2 of them, not quad pipes. If you put quad pipes on this car and put an AMG badge, honestly, at the end of the day, you won't even tell the difference. But just don't do it. Not much to say. Pay attention to the taillights, because we're going to get into that with the 55. Now let's pop in the 55 in its spot and see if you guys can really spot the differences. And so the 55 magically appears. And once again, V8 compressor. That is absolutely the telltale sign that you have something special. So of course, the mags aren't the original SL55 AMG mags. They come from a CL55 AMG. So except from that, that's not stock on the vehicle. Everything else is fully stock on this car. And of course, you got the 8-piston brake calipers with the massive rotors. And like I mentioned earlier, the mirror profile is a little bit different. That's pretty much it. And because no review is complete without showing you the beautiful SL55 badge and the AMG badge, as well as the quad tailpipes. And another differentiating factor from the 55 is this little strip here on the taillights is blacked out. It's such a cool little detail. I don't know why the 500 doesn't have it. But regardless, that's also another sign to know that you have a real AMG car. A lot of people are going to put fake badges on their 500s and sometimes even fake exhausts. Not many people are going to do this one though. So pay close attention. If you see a 55 AMG without the black taillights here, this section here, it may not be a real AMG. And now, last but not least, let's show you this car with the top down. Let's go. All right, so under the hood of the SL500 is the legendary M113 engine. It is a 5-liter V8 naturally aspirated single overhead cam on each cylinder bank, 3 valves per cylinder, twin spark plugs, which makes it a total of 16 spark plugs. So yeah, when you're due for a spark plug change, budget accordingly, because you're looking at almost $500 just in spark plugs. The thing is, it develops 300 horsepower and 339 pound-feet of torque. So it is a very smooth engine. There's just so many things that make this engine so legendary, and its robustness and bulletproofness is probably the most important one. The 55 is as robust as well, but it's a little bit more finicky. There's supercharger oil. There's all sorts of things that need to be done. This, you just fire it up, you go for a drive. All right, so in contrast to the SL500, this engine is bigger, louder, more powerful. But this isn't just any V8, as you guys are very well aware with AMG. It is hand-built, and this one is hand-built by Mr. Sandro Petrica. Mr. Sandro Petrica. Your signature and name is forever imprinted under the hood of this SL55. So to begin with, this is a 5.4 liter supercharged V8 engine. It features a single overhead cam on each cylinder head. The code name for the engine is the M113K. It develops 493 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. This car is heavier than the 500, about 100 kilograms heavier, making it at 1,885 kilos. And it is pretty much the same transmission that you get in the 500. It's just tuned a little bit differently from AMG, obviously made to handle significantly more torque and horsepower than the original 500. But of course, like on the 500, the Achilles heels of these cars are not the engines, but are the notorious ABC suspension. Let's get in that. So what is ABC? Active Body Control. It's a technology Mercedes developed in the late 90s, early 2000s. They had it on a couple of their vehicles. A lot of people think it's air ride suspension. It is absolutely not that at all. It's actually oil driven. So it uses a compressor and has high pressure oil in the system, about 2,000-3,000 psi. It is like a super compacted oil system that kind of shifts the oil between each individual suspension strut, which prevents body roll. Think of it as sway bars on steroids. This car does not have sway bars because of the ABC suspension system. The lack of body roll is actually just scary. You wouldn't expect it from such a big, luxurious cruiser. And what are the things that can go wrong? Pretty much everything, actually. Let's start with the main culprit is the struts. They're sealed struts and they tend to leak over the years. Number two is the blocks. It's valve blocks. There's two, one in front, one in back. These have actuator valves in them, and with the years, the seals in the valves, the valve itself starts getting a little bit of dirt and all sorts of things, and they don't properly close. And when they don't properly close, what happens? What you're seeing right now happen is that when the car is parked, it starts raising itself slightly. You don't have a flat sort of stance, so it looks like the car is a little bit jacked up on steroids, which shouldn't happen, and close to 90% of the SLs have that. So if you're in the market and you see one that's pretty much unbalanced, that's kind of like lifted on one side, no, your valve blocks will be needing a replacement or a rebuild. Another extremely costly part. So all in all to say is that the ABC suspension system is absolute hell when it doesn't work, but is absolute paradise when it does work. So in terms of interior, the 55 and the 500 are nearly identical to like probably 98%. And to start off with, one that's exclusive to the 55 is the Alcantara. That doesn't happen in the 500, so that really gives it a much more sort of exotic, luxurious feel. Another distinctive feature to the 55 is the steering wheel. The steering wheel is exclusive to the 55 because it has paddle shifters. The 500 does not have paddle shifters. Another exclusivity to the 55 is the AMG seats, even though the 500 is an AMG pack. The seats are slightly different. These ones are more heavily bolstered. They have the AMG embroidered logo. They're ventilated, as well as the 500 are ventilated too, but these are just more exclusive AMG designed seats. It has a Bose stereo system, which sounds very good for the year, honestly. Very good. I wouldn't even consider upgrading it. There's a subwoofer in the footwell over there. Man, you get a lot of bass, you get a lot of mids, you get a lot of highs with the top down. It sounds so dynamic. It's just a great sound system. And to make things even better, you don't even need to change this because in the glove box, you have an auxiliary cable. You can plug in your iPhone so you can listen to your music, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, whatever you choose. This car has an aux input in 2004. Thank you, Mercedes. Thank you, game changer. I wish more 2000s cars had this standard. So let's hop into the SL500 AMG pack, take you for a little spin, I'll give you guys some insights of what I feel that car is, the engine, its performance and all that. Then we're gonna hop into the SL55 AMG, show you really the key differences in terms of drivability, performance, etc. And I'll let you guys make up your mind on which car you should get. Let's go. All right, so we're gonna start off in the SL500. Not gonna drive too long. I'm just gonna give you guys a little bit of a perspective on how it feels to be in the 500, and then we're gonna jump straight into the 55 AMG. And right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you guys exactly how it feels to be in the 55 AMG. So yeah, I would have definitely loved to have the top down. I mean, it's a convertible, so all for summer, beautiful summer days, but it's too hot today. So this is what I love about the R230 platform, is you want it to be a top-down cruiser. You just bring the top down, it becomes a convertible, hair in your wind. When it's not too crazy hot summer days outside, it does that fantastic, it does that sublime. I mean, that's what this car has been designed for. It is a convertible. And of course, the notorious suspension system. I went a little bit into depth on how it works, but let's talk about how it feels. I'm driving very normally right now. We're in a suburb area, and if you notice, it's very comfortable, it's very smooth. If you move around, it's extremely stable. The car is super planted. This being the AMG pack, it does have the ABC Sport button, so it gives you not a stiffer ride, but it gives you less body roll in the curve. So people think that you press it's going to give you a harsher ride. No, the ride firmness remains the same. It's all about it's all about body roll. And in terms of engine performance, that 5-liter naturally aspirated M113, I think it's a fantastic engine. Like, you would think before driving, you'd be like, oh, it must probably feel like a Mustang, 5-liter V8. It's gonna give you that instant torque, you know. It actually doesn't do that. It's a little bit of a weird engine. You get your torque down low, but it's when the car goes into the higher rev band that the horsepower kicks in. So the car just gives you an extremely smooth power delivery. And I'm doing a U-turn. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by its smoothness. Not only is it smooth, it's also quiet. If you want to make noise and be loud, this car is not for you unless you remove the all the resonators and exhaust system. But it's just a smooth, luxurious ride, and this is what I mean. Look. We hit 100. So it's not a fast car. Do not expect it to be a fast car. You want fast? Hop on the 55 that we're going to be in after. But the other question is the extra $10,000 to $15,000 for the SL55 worth it? Well, let's hop on in and let's find out. All right, now hopped into the SL55 AMG. What's the first thing I notice? Well, the first thing out of everything is that this car growls significantly more. But if I were to drive it slow and not know which car it was in, I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. In terms of comfort, they both feel identical. Now, I'm pretty sure it's because the 500 that I have is equipped with the AMG package. So that does give you that AMG sort of tuned suspension. So, like I said, if I didn't know which car it was in, comfort-wise, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So the seats don't even feel much different. They kind of feel a little bit softer, but roughly the same seats. The steering wheel also feels roughly the same. It doesn't feel necessarily bigger. It just has a little bit more of a heavier grip. But it's the engine, right? Like, listen. Traction control kicking in. And what's crazy is that it's 500 horsepower, right? But it doesn't feel like 500 horsepower. Today, EVs hit 500 horsepower no problem. The biggest Achilles heel on this car and on the SL500 is the transmission. The 5-speed is lazy. It's a solid transmission, but man, it's a lazy one. The gear ratios are super, super long. It's like the engine is crying for more, but the transmission is just not letting it. That is much more felt on the 55. The 500, you would expect it. It's a cruiser. The engine already doesn't have much power to begin with, so you don't really necessarily pay too much attention to the transmission. But on the 55, you'd expect a lot more at 500 horsepower. But since it's a supercharged engine, you don't have practically any lag. So it's instantaneous torque, right? So the car really just it propels. It's a heavy car, it feels heavy, but it really gets propelled with that engine. It's just the question is the following. If you're in the market for one of these, what do you want? Are you looking for more of a sports car, sort of sport German muscle car? Or are you looking more of a cruiser? They both do the exact same thing. They can both be cruisers, they can both be relaxed cars. You know, you can take it on long road trips, you're not gonna get tired with them. The 500 won't get you into trouble with speeding tickets, that's for sure. This one is a different story. Is it worth the extra 10, 15,000 Canadian dollars? If you want a performance car that can double down as a grand tourer, get a 55. And of course, the 500 will keep depreciating. It's just a regular Mercedes, while the AMG is an AMG. I think it's hit rock bottom, or it's at least about to hit rock bottom. And when it does, I'm pretty sure it's gonna stay stable in terms of value. Maybe it'll go up. There were a lot of these. There were a lot of produced, a lot of sold. So maybe it won't be that exclusive, not like the 65 AMG. But I mean, if you find one for under $30,000, you need to jump on a 55. And a good price for a 500, I believe, is in the $16,000 range. And the most important thing really is find maintenance logs. If the person has a maintenance log, that is golden. And I really hope this video has been helpful and informative if you are in the market for any of those cars. And this all applies as well to the SL600 and the SL55 AMG. Same car, essentially, just different engines. So this is Jordan signing out. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for the massive support. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. If you own a 55 or a 500 or a 600 or 65, if you own any of the R230 platforms, comment down below. Tell us what your experience is like. If you have any advice, anything I missed, any buyer guide tips, share it with the community. It's nice. The community is really tight when it comes to these models, and people are very helpful. A lot of information out there. So once again, this is Jordan signing out from V8 Drive. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we have many more coming soon. I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye.